Heads of State, a hilarious action-adventure starring Cena and Elba. Movie reviews, posted 22 hours ago. Plot: when a threat from an international contender puts the UK Prime Minister and the US President in the crosshairs, they must join forces to dismantle a dangerous global plot. Review: navigating the complexities of politics in today's films is no easy feat without drawing comparisons to current events. However, occasionally a film emerges that manages to address these topics in an amused and balanced manner. Heads of State achieve this balance by delivering clever jabs without veering into one-sided satire, focusing instead on light-hearted entertainment. While the story revolves around a plot to kill two world leaders, it adopts a more playful and nostalgia-inspired approach reminiscent of 19th action comedies. Get ready for a rollercoaster of laugh and spectacular stunts. Heads of State centers on the UK Prime Minister and US President, portrayed by Idris Elba and John Cena, respectively. These leaders find themselves targeted by a ruthless arms dealer, creating one of the most significant security breaches both nations have ever faced. As they attempt to navigate their escape while under constant threat, Cena's President Will Derringer channels the charisma of Arnold Schwarzenegger's political persona, bringing a mix of bravado and humor to the role. Elba's character strikes a more grounded tone, but still provides plenty of laugh, despite a sense that Elba is somewhat indifferent to the role. Their dynamic resembles that of a couple bickering through their adventures, though it doesn't quite reach the height of legendary comedy duos. Make no mistake, they have good on-screen rapport, but it may not leave you yearning for more collaborations. Here's where it gets controversial. The standout performance comes from Jack Quaid as Marty Comer. I might be a bit partial, given Quaid's one of my favourite young actors, but his role is undeniably captivating. If a sequel is considered, Quaid should certainly have a more prominent role, as his brief on-screen time steals the show. On the villainous front, Paddy Considine excels as the antagonist, leading us wanting to see more of his talents. Priyanka Chopra Jonas handles the action scenes competently, though the chemistry with Elba does fall flat at times. Carla Gugino also delivers a memorable supporting performance. However, the casting of Sharlto Copley remains a baffling choice, which may end up being one of the least effective uses of his acting skills. And this is the part most people miss. The film isn't particularly nuanced when it comes to addressing the security mishaps that propel the story forward. The plot sometimes bypasses crucial elements and doesn't dive deep into resolving them, expecting viewers to overlook these gaps for the sake of entertainment. But let's focus on what Heads of State does do well. Action. Ilya Naishuller, the director, has a knack for crafting gripping, high-energy sequences that engage you from start to finish, even when heavyweight levels of CGI are employed. The plane crash scene stands out as a particularly impressive action set-piece, and the transition between a fire truck and a limousine in slow motion is nothing short of spectacular. While it does stretch the action scenes a bit too far, the memorable moments make the experience worthwhile. In the end, Heads of State doesn't push creative boundaries, but manages to deliver a fun, engaging flick with some fantastic action sequences. Cena remains as likable as ever, and Elba continues to captivate audiences with his charisma. Though their on-screen chemistry isn't electrifying, it still holds its charm. The storyline is somewhat predictable, and you can tell some reshoots adjusted certain characters' fates. But it all comes together nicely. Bring on the next chapter in this universe. Heads of State releases to Prime on July 2nd, 2025. 7. About the author. Critic. Favorite movies are Stephen Halloween, Scream, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Back to the Future, Battle Royale, Jaws, The Social Network, Friday the 13th, American Movie, Anything Tarantino, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Evil Dead, The Batman, The Shining, No Country for Old Men, T2, Boyhood, Edward, Jurassic Park, Wild at Heart. Likes. Horror, movies, writing, guitar, the MCU. So bad they're good movies. Video games, Spider-Man, whiskey, professional wrestling, hockey, football, Star Wars, world domination, Jeopardy, silence.